think. Is the GOP, the Republicans, are they willing to hold tax cuts for the middle class hostage just to get tax cuts for people who are in the 250,000 plus bracket?
It's really a question that you should ask Nancy Pelosi, because we have the votes to keep all tax rates where they are today. We shouldn't be calling these tax cuts. The question is, are we going to raise taxes or not on anybody? We're not for raising taxes on anybody. We have the votes in the House right now. We've had enough Democrats come out publicly on the record that give us the votes to prevent these tax increases from happening. The question is, will the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, right now, and the President of the United States allow that vote to occur or not? The President really seems to be doubling down on his class warfare rhetoric, intent on raising these tax rates on capital, on income, on small businesses. We don't want to let that happen. And we don't want to be a party to negotiating down, saying, no, we'll take these tax policies, but let those raise. No, we don't want any of these taxes to go up.
All right. Well,
and if we do get the majority, we're going to pass a bill to move them down and try and get the president to sign it.
But there's more at stake than just the income taxes, and more at stake than just taxes for wealthy folks here. There's a lot of middle class tax breaks out there that are incredibly important to people across the country.
Right.
There's a child tax credit. There is the marriage penalty that could come back if we don't do something. AMT hanging in the balance. Taxes, death taxes hanging in the balance. Are you as focused on those issues as you are on income taxes?
Yes, we're focused on preventing any tax increase from happening. We want to take that 2003 tax law, the law we've had for 7 years, and extend it. We'd like to do it permanently, given the divided government we might find ourselves in. We'll take 2 years with the president to prevent these tax increases from happening. Look, the president and his party have it within their own power right now, because they have votes, to extend just some of them or raise some of them if they structure their vote that way. But if they allow us a vote on our policy, prevent all tax increases, we will win that vote. We know it. The president knows it. The speaker knows it. And you know what? This is why we're not voting on it right now.
Well, you know, you've been very eloquent in arguing for reining in entitlement spending, making sure government pays its own way. How do you square that with letting these income tax hikes, having them come back in?
Because you have to do two things to get out of this deficit and debt hole we're in. You got to get spending under control and have economic growth and job creation. If you let these tax increases hit, you will slow down the economy, you'll slow down revenues, and you will prevent job creation from hitting what it ought to be hitting. That hurts revenue, that hurts the balance sheet of our federal government. So our combination, our economic recipe, is spending cuts and spending control, obviously with entitlement reform as a huge element of that, and then prevent big tax increases. The other problem, Jerry, that we have is if you allow tax increases to occur, all that does up here in Congress is it takes pressure off the need to reduce spending. So the tax increases come in, government spends the money, we never actually cut the spending that we need to cut. So tax increases do not work for the economy, but they also don't work for the budget because they end up slowing down the economy. So we want both. We want low taxes,
Congressman,
spending
your
cuts.
Deadline for getting something done is fast approaching. I don't know if you saw or not today, but the IRS is saying, hey, if they don't get their act together by mid-November, guess what? We're going to go ahead and sort of estimate what we think people owe.
That's right.
And go from there. This is craziness, Congressman. We can't have the IRS making up policy. Is Congress going to get its act together?
It is craziness, but guess who runs Congress right now? The Democrats run Congress. Nancy Pelosi could bring a bill today to keep all tax rates where they are, and it would pass. And the president could sign that. They have chosen not to do that, and I think they've punted this thing into the lame duck, which gets you into at least mid-November.
Crazy.
That's their choice they've made.
Congressman Paul Ryan, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
And now to the Senate perspective.